Just in, thousands of struggling Australians suddenly cut off from their lifeline payments, all because of a glitchy government system that's breaking the law. Is the Labor government hiding a welfare disaster bigger than robo-debt? Stick around as we uncover the shocking truth. Subscribe now to Aussie Political Updates and hit that bell. Don't miss the exposes that hold power accountable. Let's dive in. Mutual obligations. Those rules forcing job seekers to jump through hoops like endless applications and meetings, or face penalties. For years, this system has been automated, with computers deciding who gets suspended, no human oversight needed. But here's the bombshell. The Commonwealth Ombudsman just revealed that 964 payments were unlawfully cancelled between 2022 and 2024. That's right, nearly 1,000 vulnerable people left without support, all due to faulty IT that ignored legal safeguards. And get this. Experts say this could be just the tip of the iceberg, with over 200,000 suspensions now under scrutiny. How did we get here? It starts with the Targeted Compliance Framework, designed to enforce rules but riddled with errors. Job seekers report being penalised for minor slip-ups, like missing an email during a family crisis. One story stands out. A single parent, already battling health issues, wakes up to zero in their account, no warning, no appeal. What if the government's own review confirms it's all illegal? Enter the Deloitte report. Commissioned for $439,000, this secret document warns of system instability and unintended harms to the most needy. It urges an immediate halt to automated penalties, highlighting risks of widespread injustice. But wait, surprise twist. Academics spotted fake references and invented quotes in the Deloitte report itself. Suspected AI generation? Yes, errors point to chatbots fabricating evidence, undermining the whole investigation. Deloitte's credibility is crumbling, with calls for accountability over this sloppy, taxpayer-funded mess. Meanwhile, the Greens are sounding the alarm. Stop all suspensions now to avoid another robo-debt-scale tragedy. Remember robo-debt? Illegal debts hounding innocents. History repeating under Labor's watch? Minister Amanda Rishworth faces pressure to release the full report, but silence reigns in Canberra. Vulnerable Aussies are the real victims. Families skipping meals, mental health spiralling from unfair cuts. This isn't just bureaucracy gone wrong. It's a crisis targeting the poor while big corporations get tax breaks. Halfway through, if you're hooked on real political insights, you're watching Aussie Political Updates. Outsourced employment services are on the brink, with policy failures and tech breakdowns pushing the $6 billion system to collapse. Surprise revelation. Leaked details show Deloitte advising a complete overhaul, but the government buries it. Why the cover-up? Is it election fears or protecting flawed alliances with private firms? Job seekers share horror stories, endless loops of appeals, only to be hit with more penalties. The human cost is staggering. Increased homelessness, despair, all from a system meant to help. Will Labor act before lawsuits flood in, or let the scandal explode? This unspoken crisis demands answers, from unlawful automations to dodgy reports. Stay vigilant, Aussies. Demand transparency and justice for the forgotten. That's the wrap on this welfare scandal. For more unfiltered updates, subscribe to Aussie Political Updates. And remember, Aussie Political Updates is your source for the stories that matter. See you next time. The stakes are rising as whistleblowers emerge, claiming internal memos show officials knew about the system's flaws months ago but did nothing. Could this be a deliberate neglect to save face, or just incompetence at its peak? The truth teeters on the edge, waiting to unravel. A leaked email suggests the Department of Social Services pushed for faster automation, ignoring warnings from their own tech team. Was this a rush to meet political promises, or a shortcut that cost lives? With public outrage growing, will an independent inquiry force the government's hand, or will they double down with more excuses? The next move could redefine Labor's legacy. Advocacy groups are rallying, planning nationwide protests to demand justice for those wrongfully suspended. The streets might soon echo with the voices of the silenced. Will Canberra listen? Finally, as the scandal deepens, one question looms. How many more families will suffer before the system is fixed? Tune in next time for the latest on this unfolding crisis, only on Aussie Political Updates. Opposition firebrand Sarah Thompson jumped into the fray via the blog comments, accusing the government of withholding details. The PM fired back, defending the intelligence process, but admitted gaps that needed filling. As questions poured in, a cliffhanger moment arrived. A whistleblower allegation surfaced in real time, claiming the intelligence was partially sourced from a rogue insider. The chat exploded. Was this credible? The PM addressed it head-on, calling for calm while promising an internal review. But behind the scenes, we later learned, phones were ringing off the hook in security circles. Midway through the session, the tone shifted to domestic impacts. How would this bombshell affect everyday Aussies? Rising fuel prices? Heightened airport security? The PM painted a sobering picture. He shared a personal anecdote from his early days in politics, recalling a similar crisis that tested national resolve. It was a masterful storytelling pivot, humanizing the high-stakes drama. But wait, a user dropped a bombshell question about potential cyber retaliation from Iran targeting Australian infrastructure. The PM's answer? Evasive at first, then a startling admission. Upgrades to our defences were already underway. This revelation sent shockwaves through the online audience, with retweets flying as pundits dissected every word. Was this the start of a new arms race down under? As the blog hit its peak, cross-party unity emerged unexpectedly. Even rivals praised the PM's openness, though not without barbs about past secrecy. A moment of surprise came when the PM invited a young student to ask about youth perspectives on global threats. Her query on climate ties to security floored everyone, and his thoughtful response won hearts. Wrapping up the international angle, the PM teased upcoming diplomatic moves, leaving us hanging. Would Australia lead a coalition response? Domestically, the fallout was immediate. Stock markets dipped, then recovered as reassurances flowed. But questions lingered about budget reallocations for defence. In a compelling twist, leaked memos surfaced post-blog, suggesting the intelligence included Australian assets at risk, a detail the PM had skirted. This added layers to the story, turning a live Q&A into a saga of intrigue and high-wire politics. Here at Aussie Political Updates, we thrive on bringing you these unfiltered insights, keeping you ahead of the curve in federal affairs. As the day wound down, the PM signed off with a vow to keep the public informed, but not before one last curveball, hinting at a follow-up session next week. Analysts are still buzzing, debating if this transparency marks a new era or just damage control. The Iranian intelligence saga isn't over, far from it. Stay tuned for developments that could redefine our place on the world stage. And that's a wrap on today's Federal Politics Live Recap. Thanks for joining me on Aussie Political Update. Subscribe, like, and share to keep the conversation. Welcome, Aussies. Here's another exciting update on the wild world of Australian federal politics. I'm thrilled to have you here with me today on Aussie Political Updates, where we dive deep into the stories that matter most to Aussies like you. Imagine this. A bombshell intelligence report drops, revealing Iranian attacks that could reshape global alliances overnight, and right in the thick of it, our Prime Minister steps up to a live blog to face your burning questions. What secrets will he reveal? Hold on tight, because this could change everything. If you're not subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button now and ring the bell. Don't miss out on the drama. We kick off today's recap with the early morning buzz in Canberra, where whispers of international tension started filtering through the halls of Parliament House. It was just after dawn when the first alerts hit the wires, painting a picture of escalating threats from Iran that no one saw coming. Intelligence agencies had been piecing together fragments for weeks, but this latest drop? It was like a thunderclap, exposing vulnerabilities that reach all the way to our shores. Sources close to the matter described it as the kind of revelation that keeps defence ministers up at night. As the sun rose higher, opposition leaders were already sharpening their knives, demanding transparency from the government. But would the PM cave under the pressure? That's the question that had everyone on edge. Cut to the Prime Minister's office, where aides scrambled to prepare for an unprecedented move, joining a live blog to field questions directly from the public. This wasn't your typical press conference. This was raw, unfiltered access. The blog lit up at exactly 10 a.m., with thousands logging in, fingers poised over keyboards. The PM's opening statement was calm, almost too calm, as he acknowledged the gravity of the Iranian intelligence without giving away the farm. He started by outlining the basics: intercepted communications suggesting targeted strikes that could disrupt key trade routes, including those vital to Australia's economy. Gasps echoed in virtual chat rooms as he dropped that nugget. But here's where it gets juicy. A user asked point-blank if this meant Aussie troops might be deployed. The PM paused, the digital silence stretching like a taut wire. Would he commit, or dodge? His response was measured. No immediate plans, but all options on the table. Yet, eagle-eyed viewers spotted a flicker in his expression. Was that a hint of something more? Shifting gears, the conversation turned to alliances. How would this affect our ties with the US and other partners? The PM leaned in, metaphorically speaking, and shared insights from recent calls with world leaders. One surprise emerged when he revealed a classified briefing shared with select MPs just hours before. It included satellite imagery showing Iranian movements that defied earlier predictions, a real game changer.